On a sunny day in South Korea, a man is trying to get groceries, but when he takes the chips, the package opens and the contents spill out. A little girl looks at him and finds out if he is stealing something. But suddenly an unexpected earthquake happened in the districts, but the scale was small. As a result of this, there were no victims. After that, a more powerful earthquake happens. Looking out, a person sees that something is actually breaking out of the earth. A powerful tower is seen from under the ground, crushing everyone around. The man defends the baby, trying to protect himself when the earthquake finally ended. He looks out and sees that the tower is completely built. As it turned out, the tower was seen not only in South Korea, a huge structure was seen in the towns of all countries of the world, and people call it the Tower of Nightmares. And the notice is seen on quite a number of chosen people, saying, in fact, that they have chosen as a walker in the tower in order to save the world. Those who jumped into the backdrop of the tower fight after accepting the challenge were blessed with an interface system that enabled them to gain items and abilities, just as if it were a game. However, they soon realized that this was not a game. The interface system reports to them that in fact there will be a conflict with the tower and the world. It also demonstrates the universe outside the tower, where people who were not relocated to the tower trade the system with work in order to clean up the mess. After that, the proletarian understood something from the tower. He sees, in fact, that a creature came out of there. The conflict with the tower is a majestic cataclysm in which monsters will pour out of the tower onto the plane of the earth. They destroy everything in their own way, with which even the progressive army will not overcome. Because of the monster that spilled out of the tower, a third of the world's population was exterminated. While those in the tower have no choice but to watch it happen. Those who possessed special abilities and qualifications were the last hope of the population of the earth. After that, the walkers began to raid the tower in order to stop the elimination of the population of the earth. At some point, passers-by came across a dead end. When they try to damage the barrier, they find a gaping granite called a returnable stone. Actually, what allows the user to return in time approximately to the moment when he was called up with the current memoirs will be completely saved. Hwang, the captain of the tower walkers, immediately uses it, saying, in fact, that he intends to tell the rest, in fact, that this is similar later to the way he uses it. As he destroys the granite, light fills the room and he disappears, leaving the others confused as to whether he has truly returned to the past. Sakamoto, a former PhD in natural sciences, says, actually that Hwang definitely returned to the past. However, due to this, in fact, that a fraction of the timeline was broken, Hwang has the opportunity to no longer meet with them. He clarifies this by applying familiar scientific doctrines such as the multiverse doctrine and the parallel universe doctrine. In their current history, the short-term scale of the universe has split. In other texts, at the moment when Hwang disappeared in the past, their universe and Hwang's universe were completely separated. Other walkers are confused, but in any case, actually what is literally, for example, it's that Hwang actually returned to the past, but only because he actually returned to the past. This does not mean, in fact, that anything in today's world will change. Due to the fact that, as Sakamoto knows, the tower system has never lied before, and he explains to others that the granite will actually return them to the universe on a different timeline. He adds that the objects from the tower ultimately surpass the common sense value of the population of the earth. Soon afterwards, in the world outside the tower, the second conflict with the tower happened. Before the entire population of the earth on Earth is exterminated, the walkers are obliged to accept the conclusion. Whether they use the granite of return and return to the past, or whether they remain in the tower and die. In the end, he who does not have enough strength to rise, uses granite in order to return, leaving behind one who is willing to fight in their world today. When the monster intends to devour someone with a double dagger enters the battle. The blows are so strong, in fact, that they literally destroy the monster. Finishing understanding with the monster, he finds out if the walker is okay. Behind him during this time comes a group of people who remain in the tower in order to adhere to the very end. They were the last hope of the people of the earth, the people who were not seduced by the stone of return, Carpe Diem. In the fight on the top floor, facing the masked monster boss, Yunwin distracts the head of aggro by calling on Jaewon to strike. With the combination of these two, they simply decapitated the masked chief. We understand later the match, fortunately, it turned out without victims. And only minor injuries in the unit. Walking at a brisk pace, they think that in fact they will be able to get to the last floor. After checking the boss drop, Jaewon gets a weapon called the Dragon Suppression Blade. But, similarly, everything was for the benefit of the population of the earth, stumbling upon the 98th floor, the Hall of Purgatory.